Barbara Bush is beloved in Houston. It seems everyone has a story about her. Janelle Beluda talked with one man who got a priceless presidential keepsake thanks to, you guessed it, Mrs. Bush.
She was a situational leader.
For Anthony Pizzatola, it's a memory as unforgettable as the woman it's about.
Houston has really lost someone who was a huge advocate for the city.
It was 1987, 2 years before former President George H.W. even got his title. And today, it's hard for Anthony to remember what the reception was even for. But he remembers what happened.
Saw Vice President Bush among a bunch of people talking, and I did not want to disturb him for an autograph.
But he had brought with him his book and his hopes that somehow, some way, he might get one.
I saw Mrs. Bush walking, and I said, Mrs. Bush, may I please have an autograph?
To which the First Lady said yes, and then some.
And she said, you need to go get George. I said, ma'am, he's with a group of people, and I don't want to bother him. And she said, nonsense. She took me by the hand, walked me across the dance floor, and said, George, this is Anthony, and he wants your autograph.
And of course, the vice president listened to his lady.
I listened to her.
And left Anthony with a hand-signed biography of his life, giving him a priceless keepsake and a precious reminder of the woman.
True to the core.
Who had such an impact on every life she ever touched.
This is evidence of someone who can give back, but they did it in order to serve.
Something we've always heard about President and Mrs. Bush is just how down-to-earth they've always been. You could see them out and about all around the city. It was their love, though, of a little pizza parlor in West Houston that changed the life of a Syrian refugee. Our Matt Doherty has the story from Fuzzy's Pizza.
This is the Barbara Bush pizza. It made it on the menu about 20 years ago.
That's her favorite.
Artichoke, spinach, chicken, and garlic. When the couple picked Fuzzy's as their favorite pizza joint 25 years ago, it changed the business. The pizza place continued to expand, and George and Barbara brought friends and dignitaries to dine. Fuzzy, who's originally from Syria, says the Bushes saw in him the embodiment of the American dream, and they became lifelong friends.
She stood up for her family. She stood up for, America, and I'd say a real true First Lady.
Me and my wife, when we heard it, she was sick and we were so upset. I couldn't sleep at night. But today, it's even worse, when we hear the news.
You know what they say? A picture is worth 1,000 words. Lauren Tallarico spoke to Houston photographer Mike Marvins to hear the story behind a great portrait he took of the Bushes and their dog.
Whenever I walk down the hall, I'll pick out one or something and look at it.
Adorning the walls of Mike Marvin's home is an eclectic collection of famous photographs.
This is the photograph that defined the Dust Bowl.
He enjoys
the stories behind the pictures.
As a fourth-generation photographer, he has some pretty neat stories of his own, like the one behind this photograph he took of the Bushes in 1995.
The Bushes had come back to Houston after his presidency was over.
As the honoree for Citizens for Animal Protection, the Bushes and their dog were sitting for a portrait. Mike was giving direction.
We got to move this chair over the other side of it. It's one of these big, heavy, upholstered chairs. So the Secret Service guys came in, and they're bending down, and she sort of scolded them. You've just had back problems. And she says, Mike, come on, pick it up. We can do this ourselves.
Once she moved the heavy chair, there was another hurdle. Millie just wouldn't look up.
I had a technique to get Doggie's attention, which is barking. Millie looks up like, what in the heck's going on here? And the bush is totally cracked up. And that's what the picture is.
A picture that captures more than an image, but a memory.
Mrs. Bush's love for literacy reminds us all that words matter. And as the city celebrates the former First Lady, a look at how Houston is finding just the right tribute.
She was just absolutely awesome.
Sunshine with just enough wind to keep you on your toes. It's forecast fitting of a former First Lady.
First Lady Barbara Bush was a phenomenal woman.
It's just the right tribute.
You will truly be missed. Rest in peace.
Your memory will forever live with us.
You are beautiful.
To the Bush family,
I love you.
Thank you for sharing your remarkable wife, mother, Grammy Gams with the world.
My most memorable event is when I sat a couple of rows behind you at the rodeo. Your youngest son was being recognized, and like any mother, you were proud and took several pictures with your iPad. It reminds me that no matter what title we hold, a mom is always the proud mom of our children.
Reading about her, watching her, listening to her interviews, and just witnessing how she conducted herself as a human being, I think she was a gift to humanity.
And now, a gift to Houston. These messages,
Go Astros, go Texans, go Bush family,
will be part of the public library's historical archives. The memories.
She was thoughtful. She was kind.
Celebrate Houston royalty.
Her elegance and agility were in a class of their own, with kindness, love, and oneness. May her soul rest in eternal peace. We love and miss you.
The thing our video couldn't capture is just how cathartic that process was. So many people took a breath or welled up in tears after they wrote a message to the former First Lady.
Barbara Bush was the strongest of leaders who led our country and the Bush family with grace and quick wit.